Well, what we're looking at here is the working on the ball joint mod, first time in years. And this is the sun bolt for the hard body arm. Okay, so it matches, it comes out here and just goes inside that where it's supposed to. I just measured the other arms and everything, and they all basically come to about a 3 1/4. That's metric, so 3 1/4 is, you know, just a, I just wanted to get a ballpark. 3 1/4. The other one's a hair less, a couple of hair more, all within 50 thousandths. So what I was looking at doing here before, to take up the distance, I had to push it forward because the torsion bar comes right up and touches this, and the yoke, the arm that goes right here, goes over and captures both of them and ties them both together. Okay, that's for the torsion bar suspension. So this can't be, I can't take that spacer out and move the whole thing back, because then it puts this thing back a good 1/2 inch, which really screws with the torsion bar. It just wouldn't do that. I'd have to cut the end of the torsion bar off. So it finally dawned on me, you know, that I need to narrow this. And originally I was thinking that I would cut the arm up here and step the whole side of the arm in, and I think I've got a better idea now. So I'm basically out here just taking some dimensions. So I know I need 3 1/4. That spacer, I can measure it easier when it's out, but that spacer is roughly yeah, it's a 1/2 inch. I'll adjust that to, you know, be closer to 5/8 of an inch probably. Looks like that's going to be about the spacing. Somewhere 600,000, something like that. So you see the issue here. Now I can go back up on the bench and inside out of the sun where it's not quite so dang warm. But what I'm looking at doing here is like basically cutting out a hole in the arm and then welding a tube with a flat end, a cup, and put a cup in here that then the stock 521 sun bolt, it's shorter and it will sit inside there. Now the biggest reason I can't do this is because when this thing starts turning with the nut on here, it will actually start touching and hitting. If this was spaced evenly, no problem. I don't know if other guys putting these things on have just spaced them evenly and it's shoved the torsion bar back and everything's been okay. I don't really like that idea or option, so I'm not taking what would seem like I'm taking the hard way basically. So I don't like that, so I'm not going to do it. So we have our dimension, we can go from there. I happen to be doing a little work on the ball joint mod right now, and what I need to do, there's a hole under here for the sun bolt, okay? And so what I need to do is I need to open that up to roughly 1 3/4, and I want to have it accurate enough, okay? So holding this, I don't want to go through a big labor-intensive, try to build a jig or something to hold it, at least not at this point. So what I'm going to do is I put it on here, I've got it clamped, I'm just going to tack weld it with the MIG to hold it here, and then I can use this piece to hold it in the vise, and then I can go see about boring the hole bigger. Because at least what I'm trying at this point is I'm going to drill the hole to this step right here, okay, and then that will fit down. It'll come from the inside, okay, but it'll go into the hole in the thing, and then the arm, and I've got a chamfer here. I'll be able to weld this diameter here to the outside of the arm, and then when it's sitting in the arm, I'll be able to weld around it and weld that part in. So that ought to be pretty darn solid. And this doesn't fit perfectly right now, but and the reality is it's supposed to sit like this. So I've been setting it up to do like this, and it just dawned on me it's got to go the other way. So I may have to put the big piece back in the lathe and open that diameter up just a bit so this sits down in flush, and then I've got a nice V chamfer there, and I'm just going to tack it at this point, but so I can test the fit and see if this idea works, and if it works, then I'll be able to weld the whole thing up or whatever. But this arm's basically just a test arm, and we'll see where we get with it. Well, that ought to hold it, and now I can get my readings off where this is centered, and then be able to go in and deal with it there. Now in production, if I decide to keep modifying arms, I will set up a jig, and then I can put this into the CNC mill, and or I may go get a nice 1 3/4 cutter. Yeah, that'd be a whole lot easier. Anyway, I don't want to have to do this tack welding business every time. I want to be able to just mount the arm up and that stuff and punch the hole. I had the 3/4 inch collet in there, so hey, I might as well throw the hammer in there so I can find my center hole. And no, you don't have to go around the whole 2 turns. I could do 1 each time, but my luck, I'd forget about it. So we're going to do a 1/2 X on that one, and that then we can just dial it back to 0. That's way more accurate than it's going to need to be. Some of these boring bars are kind of annoying because it takes a 3 for these, a 5 for these, and then it takes a 4mm to lock it down. Okay. And I'm going to take about half the bite. Now it feels like the spacer underneath is a little on the small side, so I may have to revise some dimensions a little bit or whatever, but that ought to be close enough for, you know, the prototype testing piece kind of thing. So we're going to call that good and see if we can't tack it together. Well, this is what's left of the piece that was tack welded, spot welded, pressure welded, whatever the hell it was, inside here. And that was, you know, that was to create some extra strength for the sun bolt, okay, which it's not really going to need once this other piece is in here. So it changes the dimensions on this a little bit, because when this comes in, I don't really want it poking out. Not going to hurt anything, so I might just leave it poking out. That would just make the weld a little easier. I don't know. Maybe not. So I think we're about ready. I need to readjust the, do a little tweak here kind of thing and get this to go there. And then you can see there's my That's what I'm looking at for a spacer to take up the distance. And yeah, you can just make out the top of that. You can see these two are different height lengths. Okay, that's the hard body. This is the 521. So the goal is just to get this to go in here. And the challenge is going to be to get that centered. I think once I start clamping it down, it'll be fine. I do need to open the hole up a little bit because it's... I'll have to measure. Oh, yeah. I thought, oh, no big deal. This will push in and I'll just have it standing proud. Problem is, though, that now this is pushed in 1/8 of an inch, or this thickness rather, which is a good bit less than that. Yeah, about 80 thou. So if I'll have to plan on that and then make this, you know, that much longer there. Crap! Got the wrong friggin' arm. Oh, this is looking good. So I went ahead and modified the arm that I have, my test arm, that I have most of the work done to. I put the thing flush there, so this is just a hair under 2 3/4, like it's supposed to be. But it fits beautifully. Now this space right here, this is because my hole in my cup is like a 320. It's only a 1/2 inch to clear the bolt. Okay, it needs to be 0.708, 710, something like that, and then the shaft of the sun bolt will go inside, and then that way when you clamp it down, it squeezes it differently. Anyway, that should pull it all the way in to where then the hole inside here is riding on the large shaft and not the threaded piece. On the 320s, they put it on the threaded piece. They changed that over the years, kind of thing. So anyway, I'm quite pleased with how that's looking. And as you can see, there is just a ton of room here for the steering. What this also does is this pushes it back forward. When I thought I was going to have to put it in the middle or to the rear, I couldn't get enough caster with the kingpins leaning back, basically, or the ball joints, the spindle. I couldn't get enough caster without having to move the top arm back so far that it pulled the wheel out of the center of the wheel well. Okay, so by pushing this forward, that gets my caster back. It also makes it to where when that hole is enlarged and this goes in where it's supposed to be, this will be flush, and I won't have any binding with the torsion bar coming up against here and being pushed back incorrectly. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that.